Because in our poverty, in our hell, I'm going to come and deliver the broken, destroyed, messed up, poor, impoverished people. I'm going to save.
Young niggas ain't tough. Young niggas ain't tough. You young niggas ain't tough.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Baqashyah Baqashyah. Yahweh Shema Allah Baqashyah to all the sisters, man. Listen, it's Captain 13,000 that called up a rhyme, checking in with the Israelite School of UPK under Commander Junior Hunt.
Power in, you know we not no cowards. Oh, you on that?
Listen, man, this year's 52nd annual Passover. Hold on, I'm gonna say it one more time. This year's 52nd annual Passover under Commander Junior Hunt under the I.S.U.P.K. Couldn't do it last year. Y'all already know the Lord had his foot on our oppressor's neck.
Here in New York City, there are roughly 1,000 cases a day. Those are numbers they haven't seen since May.
Can't do it in New York this year because the Lord still got his foot on our oppressor's neck.
New York, the center of the outbreak this spring, is now teetering on another deadly explosion of the virus.
But listen to me good. This year, 52nd annual Passover, April 24th, 2021. You understand? It's gonna be in H-Town, baby.
It's gonna be at the B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do. Huh?
2021, I.S.U.P.K, 52nd annual Passover. All the generals gonna be there. All the heavy hitters gonna be there. The daughters of Zion gonna step out with their beautiful long dresses, you understand? Strong on deck. That One West style music on deck. 52nd annual Passover.
B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Get with it to get lost, man.
Got it out the mud, straight up out the base. The world done made me crazy. The world done turned crazy.
You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord, of course. On one accord. We ain't never stopping now. You running now. All my niggas go to ground. We go.
Shalom. Yahweh Baqashyah Baqashyah. Yahweh Shema Allah Baqashyah to the sisters. I'm President Captain TITHES with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, telling you to come out to the 52nd annual Passover under Commander General YAHANNA. Yeah, man, it's going to be at the ranch, man, the BH Ranch. And it's going to be a glorious event. April 24th, come to Houston, Texas, where we're going to serve the Lord the way he's supposed to be served. You understand? We're going to celebrate the destruction of our enemy in the BH Ranch, and it's going to be a glorious event. Make sure you come out, man. It's going to be a $200 fee to get in, but let me tell you something. You're going to enjoy yourself. This is going to be the best event you've ever been to in your life. So I'm going to tell you, man, 14149 Players Street, come out, man, and enjoy the brotherhood and sisterhood under Christ. With that, shalom.
So you. All right. Shalom, DCU with Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible. The truth is that the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true Jews according to the Bible, and our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. How do we know that? Because it's all written in the text right here. It's all written to us, for us, by us. All we have to do is actually open it up, and whatever we heard about it from our oppressor, throw that out the window, because everything they told us is falsehood.
Word.
Everything they told us is untrue, is false, is lies.
That's word.
Tonight we're going to get into why it is important to fight your demons. We're going to get a couple scriptures. We're going to get a couple stories. Some of them are meant as a cautionary tale. Some of them will break your damn heart. Some will piss you off. And just remember that all these stories is because we are not in charge of the earth. And our oppressor is. And because of that, all these stories are all these stories will let you know exactly why we need to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments and turn back to the Most High, so that we can actually lead an era of peace and prosperity. And it's not just an era; it's eternity. So we're going to get in our first scripture. Let's get our first scripture. Let's see. 2 Samuel 12 and 10. Let's start with that.
2 Samuel 12 and 10.
2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 10. Let me get there with you, Baqashyah.
No swear.
There we are.
Let me know you're ready.
I'm ready.
Good. We got the book of 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 10. And now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine house.
What we're talking about is after King David didn't fight his demons and committed adultery, got another man's rib pregnant, and then tried to cover it up by having that man lay with his wife so he can cover up his sin. And then when he didn't do that, he showed extreme loyalty to his not only his men but to his king. He had that man killed. And this is the judgment. This is part of the judgment that is coming to him because of his sins. Keep going. Read it from the top one more time, Baqashyah.
God. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from his house, from thine house.
Keep going.
Because thou hast despised me and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife.
So he's saying the prophet came to David and told him a story about what was about something that had happened in the kingdom. He made it an analogy to whereas it was a shepherd and someone came to town and he and how he took another man's sheep and dressed it for a party that he had when he had many sheep that he could have taken from. When he took another man's sheep that was his only sheep, he loved that sheep. When David heard this analogy, this story, he was like basically off with his head. And then the prophet told him, well, you know what, that's you. That's what you did. And because of what you did, you took Uriah the Hittite's wife. I am going to, when he say I am, he's talking about the Most High. Because whenever prophets give prophecies, we speak in the name of the Most High. Whenever a teacher is up here teaching, whenever a teacher is out on the corner blazing on the streets, we're not speaking our own words. We're speaking what the words of the Most High. That's what we're speaking. And that's what he's saying. He's saying, because you despise the Most High will despise you. What's up? How you doing, bro? I see. So the Most High said, now therefore, I'm going to read it from the top. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine house. And we're about to read how the sword shall never depart from thine house. Brother, if you could get me, where we at? 2 Samuel chapter 13.
Chapter 12, verse 13. What's it, 13?
No, chapter 13. 2 Samuel chapter 13. 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 13. I'm going to call out a few scriptures and I'm going to need for you to get it, Barack.
Okay.
I need for you to stay where you at when we're going through this.
Okay.
Let me know when you get it. So we're at where the prophecy was said that the sword shall never leave David's house because of the sins that he did, and how it's important for us to fight our demons, no matter how small it is. the duty of the demon is who knows? Who knows what the job of a demon is?
To destroy you.
So it's to destroy you. You got something?
To kill you.
Yeah, it's to kill you. It's to disrupt any way, means of possible. The main objective is to get you killed. It's to show the Most High that you are not worthy to be here. And once the demon accomplishes that job of showing the Most High that you're not worthy, the Most High will give that order to have you killed. That's what the demon wants to do. And if he can't do that, he'll cause as much trouble and destruction in your house and in your life, in and around your life. Make as much damage as he can, as the demon can. That's the job of a demon. And why is it important to fight our demon? Is because we're supposed to be the light. Just like Christ said, we're supposed to be the light. How can we be a light? You know, a lighthouse in a room of darkness when we're covered with grime and dirt. No one can see the light. You know what I'm saying? We're just as dark as everybody else. We're just as dirty as everybody else. So in order for us to actually shine the way the Most High wants us to shine, to be that shining light, to be that example, to be that governing body that he ordained, we have to be above the law, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? David, in this instance, was not. He gave into his demons. He gave into his lust. And because of that, other members of his family are going to be given into their demons. Because the sword, the prophecy says, the sword shall not leave thy house. So when you got that scripture, brother, let's get it. Hold on. 2 Samuel chapter 12. Is it 12 or is it 13? 2 Samuel chapter 13. Verse 1.
Come. 2 Samuel chapter 13, verse 1. And it came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister whose name was Tamar.
What does that mean? Had a fair sister. Why are they saying she's fair? What does that mean?
Sorry, it means she was beautiful.
Okay, because nowadays people say fair means what?
Like equal.
Nah, fair. Well, yeah, but in terms of looks, what would people describe fair as?
Kind of mediocre.
Well, they would say fair would be a white person or a fair-skinned person. Oh. That's what people today would describe someone who has lighter melanin or no melanin at all, just light skin. Not even light skin, just white, bright white. You know what I'm saying? Like redheads. That's what they would call fair. Oh. And this, they're not saying this woman is white. They're saying she's beautiful. Oh. That's what they're saying in here in this verse. They don't. The only time they describe, Esau is red and hairy. It's not the only time they describe him, but when they do describe him, it's not something endearing. You know what I'm saying? Something we don't look upon that's real. Yeah, what you got?
Describe him as more like recessive.
Exactly. So they were talking about Absalom's sister, who was very beautiful. She was a sister that had looks, which is not surprising because all our sisters are like that. Keep going.
Whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, loved her.
Okay, so are you saying the son of David loved her? What is the relation from Amnon to Tamar and Absalom?
They brother and sister.
So that shouldn't be, unusual, right? Or should it?
It's like that's incest. Brother and sister.
Yes. And we are not from West Virginia.
Come.
You know what I'm saying? We are not the Rothschilds, the fake Jews. We do not inbreed like our oppressors. We do not do that. Come out looking like the wrong turn. Like sloth. Right. Hey, you guys. Yeah. We don't do that. We don't do that nastiness. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, maybe I shot like Mongols.
I ain't gonna do that. Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Verse 2. 2 Samuel chapter 13, verse 2. And Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar.
What does that mean?
It's like we mean fell sick or the vexed part.
That whole line that you just read. What does that mean? That he fell sick. That he was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister. What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
Well, the vexed, it was like he was like afflicted.
Okay. Now put it together.
And he fell in love with him. He was, went crazy over him.
Brock?
Yeah, so like I want to get right to the point. When it says that he felt vexed, so like can you read one more time, just so I can talk it one more time, if I could.
Come. Verse 2. And Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar.
Like in the scriptures, like it's saying that him falling for his sister was a sickness in itself, but he was so vexed or so what's the word I want to say or synonym towards vexed. He was what's the word I'm looking for? Like pretty much it was a sickness that he was falling for, that he fell for his sister, like that he, you know what I'm saying, like that was a demon that he had on him. It was a sickness. You know what I'm saying? That pretty much overtook him in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like he was really trying to get with his sister. Like he was going full out throttle for it. And he felt sick towards, like it was that type of sickness that like it overtook him. Like now it was just like his lust was really running towards it. It was just he was overtook by it.
All right, let's keep reading. Keep reading that verse.
For she was a virgin.
What does that mean?
Of age, she had a period.
So that means she was of marriage. Not just she had a flower. Because girls have their flower at what now, like 12, 13 years old. That doesn't mean she's of marriageable age. You know what I'm saying? So when she says she was a virgin, it means she is beginning to bloom as a woman. She's beginning to attract suitors. She's of marriageable age. She is that she's not the little girl. She's not the teenager anymore. She's becoming a young woman. And now people are sniffing after her, saying, "All right, well, she could be a suitable wife," instead of looking at her as the daughter, the king's daughter. She's now becoming, that woman. So that's what that meant.
That's what I meant to say. I just said the age. I should have said marriageable age.
Okay, yeah, but that's what that means when it says she was a virgin. Keep going.
Come. And Amnon thought it was hard for him to do anything to her.
So again, what was the part of the vex? He was so vexed that he felt sick. Now that we read that part,
he knew he couldn't have it.
Verse 3.
3.
Actually, that's verse 2.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot.
You asked what's the breakdown of the end of verse 2?
No, I'm saying like what was the vexed and him falling sick for her. Now that we read the full verse. Read from the top one more time, Baqashyah.
2 Samuel chapter 13, verse 2. And Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin. And Amnon thought it was hard for him to do anything to her.
So like if I may ready, Amnon, he had played like he actually, I don't know if he actually got sick or played like he was sick.
Well, we ain't at that part yet.
So
what is
so
this?
like,
What does this verse right here say?
Well, pretty much that he got sick. Like he actually got sick.
What say you?
What's that? The furthest I could reach is what he said with he had a demon over him.
He didn't think he had a demon over him. Basically, what they're saying is that, he thought he loved his sister in that way, so much so that he couldn't think about anything else. All he was thinking about was her. It was a saying that you love someone so much it hurts. That's how he couldn't operate. He couldn't, go about his daily duties. He couldn't go about, doing what he normally does on a daily basis because he was always thinking about his sister in the way he shouldn't be thinking about his sister. And truthfully, you shouldn't be thinking about anybody like that, except for pleasing the Most High. That's the only thing you should be thinking about. But he's thinking about his sister. He's thinking about his sister in a way so much so that he can't, get through his day. And it's hurt him because he can't figure out a way to get her. Until this. Read the next verse.
Verse 3. And Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shemiah, David's brother.
So it was his cousin. His cousin was his boy, his homeboy. Keep going.
And Jonadab was a very subtle man.
So he peeped things, he was cunning, so to speak. He saw things that some people don't normally necessarily see. And this is what happened. Keep going.
Verse 4. And he said unto him, why art thou, being the king's son, lean from day to day? Wilt thou not tell me?
So what's he saying?
You're a king's son. You should be happy, but something's wrong with you.
Exactly. Keep going.
Wilt thou not tell me? And Amnon said unto him, I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister.
Okay, so he told him what's wrong. His cousin should have like, yo, that's your sister. The hell wrong with you? Snap out of it. Snap out of it. A lot of times, they say brotherhood is a weapon. This is the part where brotherhood would have been a weapon. He should have told him, and right now it's going to be a weapon, but it's going to be against him. He should have told him like, yo, that's your sister. Stop that. That's nasty. We don't do that in Israel. That's what Edom does. That's what Esau does. That's what all these other nations do. We do not do that. We're not them. Cut that out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You do not do that. You're offending me by even talking about that. I'm going to take you to counsel, man. Stop. Cut it out. However, this is what he said. Keep going.
Verse 5. And Jonadab said unto him, lay thee down on thy bed and make thyself sick. And when thy father cometh to see thee, say unto him, I pray thee, let my sister Tamar come and give me meat and dress the meat in my sight, that I may see it and eat it at her hand.
So he basically told him a plan in order to get his sister. Like, you are a dirty bastard. You know this is wrong. And this is where brotherhood is a weapon, because right now he gave him wrong counsel. He gave him absolute wrong counsel. And this is how, that's another thing. We should be careful of who we hang around with. Not only who we hang around with, but who we take counsel from. Dudes like this, we should not be listening to. We should not even be, really around unless we're trying to pull them into the truth. Because if we're doing that, that's really the only reason why we should be around anybody in the world. When I say anybody that's in the world, I'm saying like that we can help it. We can't help being around people in the world that are slaves. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, in our own free time, we really shouldn't be around those people unless the pull is stronger for the pulling them into the truth versus them pulling us out of the truth. Because right now, this brother's pulling him out of the truth. And if that pull out of the truth, if anybody we're associated with is that dynamic, us between them, is them having a stronger pull for us out of the truth, we need to sever that tie. Our dynamic should be having us pull them further into the truth versus them pulling us out. Okay. Counsel, something like after we say something off the wall, if I say something like that to Barack, and Barack will be like, yo, you know what you should do? You should fake it like you sick and then ask your father, like, yo, what the hell's wrong with Barack? But no, Barack will be like, yo, you tripping. You wild. Stop doing that. Don't think like that. Cut that. He take me to counsel. Like, yo, this brother's off. And that's exactly what he should do. Right. He should be pulling me more into the truth, more into what the scriptures say, into what our Constitution has for us. Right. That's what he would do. He wouldn't give us this evil counsel. Right. If anybody you're listening to, and you would know that counsel is evil because it 9.5 times out of 10 is going to be what you want. Medicine don't taste good, so why should good counsel? A lot of times good counsel is not going to be what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. Just like what medicine is, you don't really want to take that medicine. Medicine 9 times out of 10 is nasty, but you have to take it in order to get better. You know what I'm saying? This counsel is absolutely evil. Absolutely evil. He shouldn't even be in the company of this brother because of this counsel. But this is what he said. He told me, he gave him hatch a plan for him to get his sister into bed. And let's see what's going to happen next.
Verse 6. And Amnon lay down and made himself sick. And when the king was come to see him, Amnon said unto the king, I pray thee, let Tamar my sister come, and make me a couple of cakes in my sight, that I may eat at her hand.
So he did exactly what Amnon told him to do. That's exactly what he did. Salakia. 1 second, bear with me. 1 second. All right, where was I?
Verse 7.
Verse 7. So yeah, he did exactly what he took that evil counsel, and he's actually going through with it. Keep going.
Verse 7. And David sent home to Tamar, saying, Go now to thy brother Amnon's house, and dress him meat.
So he fooled his father, and had his father send his daughter, whom he's supposed to protect, to his brother, to his son, to her brother, not knowing that he hatched his evil plot to essentially take his sister. Tricked his father, and he's about to deceive his sister. Keep going.
Verse 8. So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was laid down. And she took flour and kneaded it, and made cakes in his sight, and did bake the cakes. Verse 9. And she took a pan and poured them out before him, but he refused to eat.
So he's saying this whole point of her coming over there, under her understanding, that he's sick, which he's pretending to be sick, and he wanted her to cook for him. You know, a lot of times, we get some good home cooking. A lot of times that just, boosts our energy. You know what I'm saying? Boosts our mental state. We may not, actually do anything physically, but mentally, we good because we, being taken care of. He's getting that, and he ain't even eating. He ain't even eating. He's showing his true colors. Keep going. Yeah, so.
Would it even be safe to say he's stalling? Keep around more?
Nah, he ain't stalling. He don't need to stall right now. He already plotted out what he's going to do, and it's just going to show exactly what he's going to do. Keep going.
Verse 9. Verse 9.
Yeah, verse 9.
Verse 9. And she took a pan. Hold up. No, it's verse 10.
No.
Isn't it?
You didn't finish 9, but read it from the top.
Oh, okay, I didn't finish. Verse 9. And she took a pan and poured them out before him, but he refused to eat. And Amnon said, have out all men from me. And they went out every man from him.
Why did he have to command men to come out? Like why were men in there?
Oh, because he's king's son.
Not only that.
And Tamar said, she's the king. He's the king's daughter. I mean, she's the king's daughter.
Exactly. So there were men there to protect, the king's son, and there's men there to protect the king's daughter. Not only men there to protect them, but it was people there to serve them as well. So they had a bunch of servants. They had a bunch of protectors. He told everybody, get out. Get out my house. All y'all get out. Except for you, Tamar.
It's a lot of that. Oh, you said that was funny.
Except for you. Every man get up out of here. Get going. Get up out of my house.
Right.
Tamar, you stay. Yeah. Keep going.
Verse 10. And Amnon said unto Tamar, bring the meat into the chamber.
What is that? What is the chamber?
Bedroom.
Like I said, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Keep going.
That I may eat of thine hand.
So he's like, so you can feed me in the bedroom. Come on, man. You know what that means. It's like, come on, it's Netflix and chill. We ain't finna watch no movie. Why we need to go in your bedroom? The table's right here. You know what I'm saying? The table's right. You out walking around. You well enough to sit your hind parts at this table and eat this food. But he had a strong demon on him. He couldn't fight. Keep going.
And Tamar took the cakes which she had made and brought them into the chamber to Amnon, her brother.
But she was doing what her father told her to do. She was obeying her father. You know what I'm saying? She shouldn't have been, her antenna shouldn't have been up because, one, her father was not going to lead her into any type of danger purposefully. One, he's her father. Two, he's the damn king of Israel. No one was going to, challenge him in that way. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew the Most High was with him. Now, we read, the sword shall not depart from thine house. He did not have Tamar at that time. Well, chances were he did not have Tamar at that time. He did not have Amnon at that time. And if he did, they were but small children. Most High delivers a prophecy. Most High has someone delivers a prophecy. Doesn't matter if it comes true 70 years later. It's still going to come true. You know what I'm saying? He said, the sword shall not depart from that house. This is it. This is part of it. This is part of it. Keep going.
I lost respect.
let's see. It's go to the top of 11.
Okay, yeah. Verse 11. And when she had brought them unto him, when she had brought them on to him to eat, he took hold of her.
What does that mean?
He grabbed her.
Yeah. He asked her to come to the bedroom and so you can feed me, by hand. Once she did that, she was feeding him by hand in the bedroom. He grabbed her. He took hold of her. Keep going.
And said unto her, come lie with me, my sister. Verse 12.
So what does that mean? Come lie with me, my sister.
Let's do it.
He's saying, hey, I'm tired. I don't want to eat now. Just lay here. Is that what he's saying? What's he saying?
He's saying let's have sex.
What say you?
Come lie with me.
Yeah.
He really, yeah. He asking for them cheeks.
Yeah. This nasty bastard wants to have incestuous relations with his sister.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to have. Now, what type of sister is she?
Towards him or just as
towards
a person?
him? Yeah. What kind of sister is she?
I would say loyal.
The one like physical.
Oh,
the physical, like the family tree. How does that family tree look like from Amnon to Tamar?
Well, at one point he did say my brother's sister. So, I mean, like that's a sister, like straight up sister. That's King David's daughter.
Yeah, King David's daughter. Yeah, it's King David's daughter. But it described her as read verse 1. Go back to verse 1.
And it came, verse 1, and it came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister whose name was Tamar, and Amnon, the son of David, loved her.
So why is it written like that? Why is it described like that? This is a cut to the Christians right here. They don't even know.
Because it's like a half sister, like they had different mothers or something.
Exactly. Absalom and Tamar had the same mother and father. Absalom and Amnon had the same father but different mothers. They were still brother and sister. They just didn't. They shared the father. They didn't share the mother. Why I say it's a cut to the Christians? Because it proves that that the Most High allows multiple wives. This is a cut for Christians right here. So right here it's Absalom. That even though they do not share the same mother, it's still incestuous. You do not do what he wants to do. It's not our way. That's Esau all the way. In times of Rome and whatnot, in Greek. That's them all the way. Keep going.
Verse 12.
Yeah.
And she answered him, nay, my brother, do not force me.
He's like, yo, don't do this thing. Don't force me to lie with you. Keep going.
For no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not thou this folly.
So she's saying, like, yo, none of this, like I just said, this shouldn't happen in Israel. This is not our way. This is not what we do. This is what, all these other nations do. We're not these other nations. And that's why we're at top of the world right now, because we're not like these other nations. Right now, we're at the bottom because we're exactly like the other nations. And in order for us to shake the dust off is to throw away their ideology altogether 100% completely. Throw that away and put on what the Most High is telling us. Just like the spirit of the sister right now. She's saying, yo, we don't do this crap in Israel. This is not us. How many times, you hear a news story and you be like, oh, black people don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You hear someone killing 12 people and eating their pancreas. You automatically know that ain't a black person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we don't do certain stuff. Even though we do certain stuff, it's not us. That is just not us. We do not do this crap. Right. And this is exactly what she's saying. We do not do that. That's not us. That's not Israel.
Huh.
We've never done that. So don't do this.
Right.
She's pleading with, do not do this. This nastiness, this thing. Do not do this. Keep going. Let's stop here. We have anything on online?
No. Just a couple check-ins. Young man Jose was commented earlier, about 20 minutes ago.
All right, cool. What's up? All right, keep going.
Verse 13. And whither shall I cause my shame to go?
So what's she saying with that? And whither shall I cause my shame to go? What's that mean?
That's how it's worded. Where should I cause my shame to go? I don't know that.
How about you, bro?
Whether should I cause my shame to go? She's like saying if I were to do this, like, you know. So like what I guess I'm asking, is she saying because previously she just said like this ain't, you know what I'm saying, this we don't do this type of thing, and if I do this, you know what I'm saying, like where would I, how would, it's almost like saying how can I look myself in the mirror type thing. It's like, you know,
basically, like you do this, you're shaming me. How can I get rid of the shame now that you raped your sister? I can't go outside, I can't show my face, I can't do anything. If you look at actual rape victims, and we're about to read the stat. Did you get that article I just sent you?
I did.
We're about to read the stat about rape in America, and this is just a microcosm of rape in the world. It doesn't just happen, in America. It happens throughout the world, and it's happening right now. She's pleading with her brother, "Don't do this. Don't do this. I'm going to be shamed." You know what I'm saying? Do not do this. Read that article I just sent you.
The criminal justice system statistics, the vast majority of perpetrators will not go to jail or prison. Out of every 1,000 sexual assaults, 995 perpetrators will walk free.
So that's what, 99.5% of
sexual
of Amnons will walk free. 99.5%. Now read that breakdown.
230 are reported to police.
23% is they're saying out of every 1,000. So 230 out of every 1,000.
That's 23%.
That's 23% actually report being sexually assaulted. Why? Because it is shame that's associated with sexual assault, with rape, with molestation. You know how many people that is? Only 23% actually reported. Keep going.
230 are reported to police. 46 reports lead to arrest.
4.6% get arrested for sexual assault. Keep going.
9 cases get referred to prosecutors.
Out of those 4.6% that get arrested, only 9% of those cases actually, not 9% of those cases, 9% of the overall 1,000. 9% actually gets, referred over to the prosecutor's office saying, hey, this guy, we got the evidence to show that this person did this, this, and this, and we need to send him to jail. Keep going.
5 cases will lead to a felony conviction.
5% will get convicted. 5% will get convicted. And keep going.
4.6 rapists will be incarcerated.
incarcerated, which means only 4.5%. Out of the 5, there's 5% that will get convicted, but then there's even less people that will actually go to jail. So the reason why that number is so low, 23% is actually, getting reported, is because not only the shame, but they have to go through actually telling somebody and going through the motion of actually bringing forth evidence, having people go through their lives about, and possibly becoming the victim of rape, that only 4.5% actually go to jail for the crimes that they did. That's our criminal justice system. So that 23% is so low is because there is no justice. Why should I tell anybody? No one's going to believe me. And if they do believe me, no one's going to jail. This is what basically Tamar is saying. It's like, you're going to shame me. You're going to shame. I cannot go outside anymore. People, even though you did this to me, people are going to look at me like I'm wrong. Do not do this to me. What verse is that?
13.
Read a little bit more in the article.
Okay, cool.
Just read
perpetrators
on each of them. Read the top.
Okay, out of 1,000 robberies, 619 are reported to police.
So robberies, they report that 61.9% get reported. Go to the next one.
Out of 1,000 assault and battery crimes, 627
62% gets
reported to police.
62% gets reported, but only 23% get reported for sexual assault. Only 23% gets reported. This is part of what Tamar is saying. Keep going.
Verse 13. And I, whither shall I cause my shame to go? And as for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel.
So he's saying, I'm going to be looked upon bad now, and you're going to be looked at as a fool. This is what she's saying. She's giving a strong argument. Not only she's giving a strong argument, she's trying to knock some sense into him. But why isn't any sense being knocked into him?
So because he's sick.
Because he ain't fighting his demons.
Because he ain't fighting his demons. Exactly. He ain't fighting his demons. Oh, there's something. Go back to that article, Baqashyah. Go back to that article. God damn it. And go down to the majority.
The majority of sexual assaults are not reported to the police.
So it was what, 23? So that's what, 77%? 77% is not reported to the police. Keep going.
Only 230 out of every 1,000 sexual assaults are reported to police. That means about 3 out of 4 go unreported.
3 out of 4 sexual assaults go unreported. Keep going. I'm gonna share you with share some stories with you. Keep going.
Individuals of college age.
So these are young people who just gotten out of the house and most likely living on their own, outside of their parents, guidance.
Female students, 20% report. Female non-students, 32% report.
So these are young women who are of college age, that go to college. Females who go to college are less likely to report sexual assault than females of the same age group that are not going to college. Keep going.
The elderly.
The elderly. Why is there a damn stat for this? Like, are you serious? Are you serious? Some sick people out here. But the elderly, keep going.
28%.
Only 28% report sexual assault. It's a goddamn shame. Keep going.
Members of the military. 43% of female victims and 10%.
Hold on. 43% of female victims report being sexually assaulted. I want to say that's a double-edged sword because they encourage that behavior to actually have a sexual assault go on in the military, but then they actually encourage, the reporting of it. But they don't really curb the behavior to actually, stop the assault from happening in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So 43% of what?
43% of women and 10%.
So 43% of females. Mm-hmm. Why do they have to make that distinction? 43% of females. And what?
And 10% of male victims reported.
Only 10% of male victims report. Esau's a goddamn devil, the Bible speaks of.
Right.
You understand? Let me. I was slaving with this brother who was in Esau's military. He worked in JAG. I'm gonna tell you this story. JAG is the legal system, not the legal system, but like the once you've been charged, it's like the lawyer, the public attorney, the attorney's office, and where charges are filed and whatnot. That's JAG. He worked in there, so he got to see all the criminal cases that are going on in the military. Whether it's going from small things like being late to formation, which could turn in, it's a big thing, all the way up to murder and rape and whatnot. And he says, for one, the majority of the people who were in, less than 5 years, the crimes that they commit are, stealing from the commissary of PX or, DUIs and stuff like that. Kind of stupid, stuff. The people who've been in 15 years or more, them bastards, get charged with child molestation, rape, all these others predatory evils. I'm not saying the younger ones don't do wrong, but man, people who have power in Esau's military, it goes to the head and it just messes them up. But that's not what I'm about to talk about. So I'm gonna start the story off with this. It was a guy who was a meathead who liked to go to the gym. He was, as soon as he was off work, he was changing up. He was running back to the barracks, changing his clothes, and heading over to the gym. His routine, he had such a routine where he was very predictable. Very predictable. Once he, one time, he just went to, he wasn't feeling well. It's not funny. He wasn't feeling well, so he went to the doctor, right? The doctor examined him, and he was like, he told him the symptom. He was like, man, for some reason, it just hurts when I take a dump. I don't know why. It just hurts. So he examined him. He was like, I don't see nothing wrong. Take some of these laxatives, loosen up your bowels, and if it, works out, it works out. If it doesn't, come back and see me. He came back. He was like, man, I'm taking these laxatives like you gave me. Man, it's not working. Stuff still hurts, man. I don't know what's going on. He was like, well, let me examine you again. He examined him. He was like, yo, it's nothing wrong with you. And he was like, well, no, something's wrong because it never happened like this before. He was like, man, everything is fine except for all the anal sex that you've been having. He was like, what are you talking about? I'm not gay. He was like, come on, we're in a new military now. You can come out. It's not a thing. He was like, no, I'm not gay. He was like, well, so you need to tell your butthole that because, that's what's happening. And he was like, yo, it's something else. It's not that. He was very adamant about that. So he gave him a higher dose of laxative and just sent him home. The doctor was like concerned, kind of semi-concerned. Called the investigative service for the Army or for the military, whatever branch he was in, and NCIS, and he told them what he told them the story. They set up surveillance in his room without his knowledge. They set up surveillance in his room, and they saw him come in, do his routine, change his clothes, get his protein powder, whatever, drink it, and then he passes out. His roommate kind of comes in, knocks on the door. He looks in. His roommate, the meathead who was Esau. The roommate was Moab. Comes in, kind of like sees him pass out. He kind of like kicks him. Hey, you all right? Sees he's not moving. Kind of nudges him again. Sees him not moving even more. Then he like kind of looks around, goes to the door, closes the door, and then gets busy on him. Takes advantage of this man. Yes, this is what's going on in Esau's military. He wakes up. He's like, all right, well, whatever. He goes to the gym, works out. They get in contact with the victim and show him the tape, right? And he's like, well, this is why you've been hurting all this time. He was like, this is why you've been hurting. So he was like, he saw the tape and he just went ballistic. He was like, he just ran out before they can control him. Ran out. He was like, man, I'm gonna kill this dude. Right. So they was like, oh no, we're about to have a murder on our hands. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. So they locked the entire base down and got that dude and arrested him before he could go out and shoot him in the face. But this is military. He wouldn't have reported. If he would have found out, he wouldn't have reported that. Just like I said, only 10% of males, in Esau's military reports stuff like that. I read another article. I was on a slave one time, and it was a Time magazine, and it had men being raped in the armed services, right? And I've never heard anything about it. So I'm reading the article, and it lists every branch, people in every branch being taken advantage of. It was this one case in particular where this dude was in the Navy, and he was on a ship, and he was terrorized by these two guys called the Twin Towers. They were two big Esau mofos, and they called them Twin Towers, right? Because they were just big and they were meatheads as well. The way the berthing is set up is, when I say berthing, it's like the where they sleep. It's like, racks like 3 or 4 tall, right? So really there is no privacy in it. You got some?
No.
All right. So
I'm not reading that a lot.
So there really is no privacy. There really is no privacy. The only privacy there is you pull some curtain over and you can get some sleep. That's your privacy when you're on a ship. You don't have a room. You have, it's like bunk beds, 3 or 4 tall, and you close the curtain and that's it, right? These Twin Towers basically raped this dude right there in the berth where everybody can see. And you know what everybody else did? Take a guess what everybody else did.
Watched.
Nah, they closed the curtain like that. That ain't at least not happening to me. Everybody knew what was going on. He went to his command and told them what was going on, and they kicked him out because he was disrupting the flow of the ship and whatnot. Not the people who were brutalizing this dude, but they kicked him out. So Esau's military is just a haven for this stuff. Yeah, you got something?
Yeah, it's like, may Lord forgive me, but I, at that moment, like the first dude, he kirked out. He was going crazy over there. Like I honestly waited till nighttime, maybe sleep. They wouldn't have got up the next morning.
What?
They would have took me out.
The way I hear what you're saying. He didn't have that warrior spirit. He didn't have that in him. And if he did, they took it from him. They took it from him. He was a small dude, and these, according to the father, these were two big dudes that was always together. And nobody, according to his story, nobody messed with him. And that's why no one stepped in when they were doing it to him, because it was out in the open. They just pulled his curtain back and just took it.
Please tell me they knocked him out, like he fought till he was knocked out or something.
It didn't say that. It didn't say that. It said he says he has so much problems now. His mind is so jacked up because of that he was married. He got kicked out of the Navy because he was being raped. He got kicked out of it, but he picked up some of the pieces and got married, had a woman and whatnot. But he said he couldn't even have sex because the sound brought him back to him being molested, being raped. And that caused, issues in the marriage. He had to get divorced. He got divorced because of that. Get me Leviticus 20 and 10. Get me Leviticus 20 and 10. I'm gonna tell you another story. This one was told to me when I was in like the 7th grade. Goddamn Greek tragedy. You got it, brother?
Come.
All right. Let's hear it.
Come. Leviticus 20, verse 10.
Hold on. That's not the one I want just yet. Hold on. Give me Deuteronomy 22. Give me Deuteronomy 22. Deuteronomy 22. And I'm going to tell you the verse here in a second. Deuteronomy 22. and 25.
Deuteronomy 22, verse 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man...
What does that mean, betrothed damsel?
Married woman.
Not necessarily. What? You got it, bro?
So like, I want to get that definition.
But for time's sake, betrothed means she's promised to. So in other words, like if she was courting another man, a man, not another. If she was courting a man, she is promised to that man. That means she's married. So even if she's not even married to that man yet, she's promised to that man. So this is what they're talking about. If a man, read that from the top one more time.
Verse 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her
for what?
Rape her.
Yeah, exactly. Keep going.
And lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die.
So all these people that I was talking about, they should be put to death according to the scripture. They should be put to death. And the reason why it's only 23% of people that are actually reporting it is because only 4.5% are actually getting convicted or getting jail time, going to actual jail, because it seems like those numbers are just ridiculous. Only 4.5% of people who are actually doing the crime actually get time. Why should anybody? This seems like no one's going to listen. Seems like, and the hassle to actually go through telling people, and then once you tell that story, you're gonna have to tell it over and over and over again. And when people have to tell that trauma, they're reliving that trauma over and over again. And then when they sees their perpetrator go free, and a lot of times rape victims are people they know, just like Amna. It's people she knows who she's gonna be around all the time. Yeah, something?
Calm. Brings back memory of the video I saw with Nasty Nate when he said He said, you know, just rape her. Just take it. So imagine how they feel. They, you know, they're not reporting it either. I mean, he should be put to death.
What he should do is turn back to the Most High. That's what he should do. He should relinquish purple and come back into I.S.U.P.K. and get up under the foot of Commander General YAHANNA. That's what all other camps, not just that camp, all other camps that are not inside the I.S.U.P.K., they need to shed whatever ideology they're believing, because it's not the truth, and come in up under the foot of Commander General YAHANNA. That's what needs to happen.
Is there actual scripture that actually says that you cannot force yourself on your wife? Even though it's a scripture that says her body doesn't belong to her and your body doesn't belong to you in marriage. Is there actual scripture that says you can't force either one?
Yeah, the scripture says be nice to your wife. Love your wife. Forcing yourself onto your wife is not loving her. You know what I'm saying? That's not love. You forcing yourself onto anybody, like in that manner, is rape, and it's homosexual. It's tutti frutti. It's what's that dude's name? It's delivered. Whether you're doing it with a man or with a woman, it's delivered. If you know what I'm saying. No. It says, the scripture says, husbands, love thy wives. You want a scripture? There it is. Husbands, love thy wife. As Christ loved the church. You think Christ is going to rape his wife? Is that what Christ does? So why would anybody think it's okay to force yourself on your wife? And that's where having multiple wives come in handy. If she really, she should be giving herself to you, but if she's just not really in it, go on to the next. Go on to the next. And if you don't have it, have another rib, okay. Get another one. Or just do what you need to do. That is lawful. That is lawful. Forcing yourself on your wife is not lawful at all. Where are we?
Deuteronomy 22, 25.
22 and 25.
Come.
Keep going towards 26.
Verse 26. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man rises against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter.
So if a woman is being forced into something that she doesn't want to do, and she cries out, and it still happens, there's no sin in her. She didn't do anything wrong. That's what the scripture is saying. But according to Esau's laws, only 4.5% of them go into jail, even though they cried out. Them reporting it is crying out. Not only just in the act of it happening, they cried out, but actually going to somebody, going to authority, and saying, "Hey, this happened." That's crying out as well. I'm gonna share with you one last story. We're gonna have to pick this up, another time. One last story. I was told this in grade school. The subway. You know how after rush hour gets done, there's people who rush home, get out the train station and just rush on, get on out the train station. There's a couple people that straggle behind, just wait till the crowd go by and just keep them going, right? Well, this one instance, it was a couple people who decided to rob some of these travelers, and that was the plan. They were gonna have 2 or 3 people down in the station part, and they was gonna have 2 people up keeping watch. And if anything were to happen, if police were to come, they would, get word down to the people down there to cut it out or disperse, and that was the setup. Well, this happened. They found their victim. It was this little old lady who was, waiting in the back, and they got her aside, and then they robbed her. Right. One of the people thought it was a good idea to fondle her and whatnot, and then another person thought it was a good idea. Well, since we down here, we feel on her, we might as well rape her, right? So they raped her. It's like 3 people was down there, 2 people up there. Those 3 people raped her. Then they switched positions. Like, all right, go get them so they can have their turn. Got one of the dudes up there. He came down, he raped the chick. Went and got the other dude, the last one. So now this woman's been raped about 4 or 5 times. When he gets down there, it's his turn. He's about to get it in. It's his mother.
Wow.
His friends, his boys, raped his mother. This dude instantly went crazy. He went into the insane asylum.
He went what?
Into the insane asylum. He couldn't handle that.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy. It's crazy how the way Most High allows things to happen. You want to rob some little old lady and your friends want to rape somebody? Well, it turned out to be your mother. And then you held guard while your mother was getting raped. Fight your demons. Fight your demons. Because not only are you at risk, your whole family's at risk. You got something, brother?
God. And not only that, he was coming down for his turn. His mother seen him.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why he had a mental break. He went crazy. He couldn't handle that. That was a true story that happened in New York. Anybody have anything else before I pass this class off? Because this is we're gonna have to have part 2,
right? Yeah.
For this class. Where did we leave off at? We left off at
2 Samuel 13. I think it was 13.
Let me look at it real quick so I can get a note of where we left off before I pass the class off. Did anybody have any questions? Any questions online? Any comments online that can be read in class? No?
Salaki, it was 13.
It was 13?
Yeah, that's when we left off. We didn't get past it.
Okay. Anybody have anything else before I pass the class off? And with that, I pass it off to Trooper Brian.
Security announcements. We're at I.S.U.P.K at 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves of the word. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find us in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew, and it's pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of increase the Lord gives you. You get to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offer for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. The upcoming Holy Convocation, April 24th, this Saturday, is the Lord's 52nd annual Passover that will be held in Houston, Texas this year, starting at 5 p.m. Be there on time, starting at 5 p.m. April 24th, this Saturday at 5 p.m. If you have not paid your Passover fund, make sure you make those arrangements to do so. It is a $200 fee for everyone that is 17 years of age or older. As well, we have the April 22nd, which would be Thursday, is the annual slaughter of the lamb that will also be held in Houston, Texas. Regarding around slaughtering lambs, prices, etc., please stay in close contact with your camp leader revolving any information revolving around the slaughter of the lamb, which once again will be held on April 22nd, also in Houston, Texas as well. Anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, also, stay tuned to keep checking into I.S.U.P.K website, official website, and Facebook pages to have an updated list on which 11 things that you need to take out of your apartment, out of your house, out of your domicile, anywhere you're staying. We need to have all the leavening agents out of your house. If you share a space with someone who's not in the truth, take that leavening agent out of your space. If you have a cabinet, have all that stuff out of your cabinet and put it somewhere else. Put it in the trunk of your car. Put it somewhere. Just do not have it in your domicile. Just keep in contact with the websites and the Facebook pages. Is going to be updated lists that are going out here soon.
Put it in their basement or in the trunk of their car.
Put it in your basement. Put it in your basement, in the trunk of your car, or somewhere safe. It cannot be in your domicile. That's according to the scripture. Or throw it away. You can do that as well. There will be a comprehensive list of things that we can keep. There will be a comprehensive things that should be going out. For instance, things that we can keep is, strong spirits, wine and liquor can be kept in there because the leavening agent is not active. It cannot rise anything. If you take anything from, that, it will not be able to rise. Stuff that we can't have in our house, stuff like, bread, baking soda, baking powder, stuff like that. But stay tuned for the exact comprehensive list of things that you have to keep out of your house.
Remind Akim and Akwati to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Sorry, hold on 1 second. Do that before you head to the Passover. Do that before you head to the Passover. Get it done now, sooner rather than later. The official start of it was supposed to be the start of the Feast of the Unleavened Bread. That's when we're supposed to have it out. Most of us won't be back home at that time, so do it before you get to before you leave the Passover. Leave for the Passover.
Remind Akim and Akwati to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and material. If your brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black headband, or scarf. And with that, I say Amajim, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amadi Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Baqashyah, Yahweh Shah Barakatah.
Yahweh Baqashyah, Yahweh Shah Barakatah.
Yahweh Tah. Class dismissed.
The Lord loved us so much that in our poverty, in our hell, I'm going to come and deliver the broken, destroyed, messed up, poor, impoverished people. I'm going to save.
Yo niggas ain't tough. Yo niggas ain't tough.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Yahweh Baqashyah Yahweh Barakatah. Yahweh Shema Alatah Baqashyah Yahweh to all the sisters, man. Listen, it's Captain 13,000 and called up around checking in with the Israelite School of UPK under Commander Junior Hunter. Listen, man, this year's 52nd annual Passover. Hold on. I'm gonna say it one more time. This year's 52nd annual Passover under Commander Junior Hunter under the I.S.U.P.K. Couldn't do it last year. Y'all already know the Lord had his foot on our oppressor's neck.
Here in New York City, there are roughly 1,000 cases a day. Those are numbers they haven't seen since May.
Can't do it in New York this year because the Lord still got his foot on our oppressor's neck.
New York, the center of the outbreak this spring, is now teetering on another deadly explosion of the virus.
But listen to me good. This year, 52nd annual Passover, April 24th, 2021. You understand? It's going to be in H-Town, baby.
It's going to be at the B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do.
2021 I.S.U.P.K 52nd annual Passover. All the generals gonna be there. All the heavy hitters gonna be there. The daughters of Zion gonna step out with their beautiful long dresses, you understand? Strong on deck. That One West style music on deck. 52nd annual Passover.
B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Get with it to get lost, man.
Got it out the mud, straight up out the base. The world done made me crazy. The world done turned crazy.
You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord of course. On one accord. We ain't never stopping now. You running now. All my niggas go to ground. We go.
Shalom. Baqashyah, Baqashyah, to the sisters. I'm Prince and Captain TITHES with Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, telling you to come out to the 52nd annual Passover under Commander General YAHANNA. Yeah, man, it's going to be at the ranch, man, the BH Ranch. And it's going to be a glorious event. April 24th, come out, come to Houston, Texas, where we going to serve the Lord the way He's supposed to be served. You understand? We're going to celebrate the destruction of our enemies in the BH Ranch, and it's going to be a glorious event. Make sure you come out, man. It's going to be a $200 fee to get in, but let me tell you something. You're going to enjoy yourself. This is going to be the best event you've ever been to in your life. So I'm going to tell you, man, 14149 Players Street, come out, man, and enjoy the brotherhood and sisterhood under Christ. With that, shalom.